JLR investigates. Hello everyone, back at the scene here in Pasco County, Florida. Come on in everyone, I got some new information, some new photographs of the suspect. Very, very disturbing photographs. There is a crime scene here. This is the third day in a row we've been here, and the authorities are still here. They're still here. Nottingham Trail, Robin Hood Road. Authorities are still here. Pasco County, Florida, Hudson. And this is in reference to a family of four that have been missing, but authorities think all their bodies are at this location of an individual named Rory Atwood. Just a little bit in the distance here. We've shown this numerous times. I'll show it again. They're searching up the property, about 10-acre property that he stayed at. This family of four went there days ago, and then some sort of argument happened, and maybe an alcohol fueled an argument between Atwood and two adults, and then something really, really bad happened, and the family went missing. But the sheriff's office received tips and information that something bad happened and he killed the family, and we're talking about Atwood. So authorities today, once again, this is the third day in a row we've been here, and they still have the area blocked off. But I do want to share with you some pictures, some very disturbing pictures that I have of the suspect, and I actually put it out on my Twitter. Let me spin the camera around and we'll continue to talk. But here we are here, back at a rural road. Good morning, folks. Come on in. Rory Atwood. And I'm sorry yesterday I had an issue here, a safety issue, so I had to end the live stream early yesterday. I apologize. We were going to listen to the press conference, but we can share the press conference again. I played a few minutes of the press conference. Come on in, everyone. Sun is out, and they still are out here searching in Pasco County at this property at the end of the road. I spoke to the deputy on this vehicle here. Very nice guy. I love the Pasco County Sheriff's Office. They do a great, phenomenal job. He doesn't know how long they're going to be here for. He doesn't know how long in the distance there authorities are going to be digging up this property right here. So let's talk a little bit. I want to share some photographs with you. So we're actually going to go over here. That's kind of shady today, which is good. Kind of shady. Thank God it's hot out here in Florida. But I want to share some photos. I'm actually going to put this and perch this in my vehicle here and share with you some photos here of the suspect, because I found a private Facebook, or a very, he uses a different name for this Facebook, but I found a Facebook. All right, come on in, everyone. This is as disturbing as you can possibly get. I'm going to go to my Twitter account because I put the photo on, and thank you for the tip of the individual that sent me the photo of this guy. But this is shocking to the core, folks. This is the suspect. Viewer discretion is advised on this one. Viewer discretion is advised. So I don't know if you can see that. Let me put the light on a little bit. Maybe there's let me see. But the guy is holding an axe. The guy is shirtless, taking a selfie, holding an axe. And it looks like the axe has blood on it. This is the type of individual we're dealing with here, folks. This is scary. Can you guys see this okay? I'm seeing people say, wow, oh my God. Yes, very terrifying. I have Charles Manson type vibes here, Hills Have Eyes, Ted Bundy-ish. He's smiling and stuff like that, but there's numerous other photos of him that I have, just showing who this guy is. This is the guy most likely responsible for this, the one that is arrested, sitting in the Pasco County Jail for this crime. It's just horrific. He has weird photos all over the place. There's something wrong here with this, folks. There's something wrong with this individual here. Why in the world did this individual do this? How did he do this? He has a criminal record, folks. He does have a criminal record. We talked about his criminal record. He has fleeing and eluding police. He has a battery charge from 219, a warrant. His name is Rory John Atwood. Rory John Atwood. And it's terrifying that this guy was even out on the streets. This poor family. Because remember, folks, we're dealing with two children here, a 5 and a 6-year-old, that are missing. This is a family of 4. These are the victims. It's a family of 4. These are the victims, folks. Very, very scary. I'm sorry that I should get the... Let me see if I can switch this over a little bit so we can at least get it where we can see better. Unless you guys can see it okay. It might be a little glare. Family of 4, mother and father to these 2 beautiful kids. It's most likely their remains are on the property. So they're still here. And it's interesting because this is bad. This is bad because usually with crime scenes, they maybe be at a residence maybe for a day at the most. Most crime scenes are cleared within hours. This is the 3rd day in a row. This is the 3rd day in a row that this has happened to. So what are we going? Are we having technical difficulties here with the reception? Tell me what's going on with the reception. Are we okay? Can we see okay? Reception check. A little hot out here. Looks okay to me, right? Looks okay to me. But we want to play the press conference. Everyone wants a summary of this case. This case has been on national news now. I saw CNN and Law and Crime pick up on the case. So what's happening here is authorities are looking for a family of 4. A family of 4 that went missing, right? After being at this guy's residence. They were drinking alcohol, something happened, a fight, and this guy did the unthinkable. And it's safe to say at this point that, you know, the problem is, here's what's scary about the situation. Usually in situations it says body's been found, right? But they're classifying this as human remains have been found. Human remains. I saw a message here. Thank you, Deborah, for the support. Thank you, JLR, for keeping us informed on all cases. Yeah, they're still here. Literally, they're still here, folks. They're still here. They're still here in Pasco County, Florida. Authorities are still searching this area. So it's like, whew. Now, some people might be just jumping on this case because they never even heard of it. This is the 3rd day in a row I'm here. I can't get any closer. And the deputy told me he doesn't know when they will release the crime scene. As soon as they release the crime scene, if they do it today. But I'm not so sure they'll do it today because they're still here. And it doesn't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon. So it makes me wonder when they say human remains. And I don't want to be graphic and I don't want to offend anyone, but are we talking about human remains scattered amongst his property all over the place and they have to keep digging up and when they found human remains, is there a chance that they haven't found all 4 of the family members? So this is scary, folks. What did this guy do? This guy lives on 10 acres. It is farmland. It is trees. It's dense. He lives way out off the road, like basically his own little compound there. I heard there's a lot of junk there. I heard there's a barn there or some sort of according to Google Maps, I'm going to show you. I have a kind of an area where they're looking at the property. The property is listed at 14825 Nottingham Trail in Hudson. And according to Google Maps, which I'll show you right here, I am at the corner here. I'm just south at the corner in the V in the middle there. The red dot is where his property is. So it's just to the north of me, to the left, and it goes in a little bit. That's what they're searching right now on his property. They're there. They've been there days. Deputy told me they've been there at night. No one leaves. So they're still there. This is terrifying because also, folks, Is this guy possibly involved with other crimes? Are we talking about a serial killer? Now, I don't know, but the authorities are tight-lipped. They're not saying, if this is just the 4, it could be more. It could be possibly more. I don't know. Is there any unsolved crimes in Pasco County? Has this guy done this before? And what is on his property that authorities are looking for? Are they looking for just human remains of these 4, or are there additional people? Also, folks, here you go. Here's a kind of perspective of what his compound looks like. Right here, this is his compound. This is the area that he lives at. So it has numerous trees and numerous openings, and it looks like multiple buildings here, including some barns and sheds on his property. And this is according to Google Maps. Soon as I can get access and get closer, ladies and gentlemen, I'll do that. I'll get up closer. So let's talk, right? So they gave a press conference, and we were reviewing the press conference a little bit. It's played again because we didn't get to go through it. It's about a 10-minute press conference. Stick with me here, folks, so we can actually listen to this press conference and hear Pasco County Sheriff Noko speak about what's going on. So this is about 11 minutes. So they're going to call. He spoke a couple days ago on this matter. Well, listen, let me turn the car off. So we're quiet here. Here he comes.
Everybody good? Roll. All right. Good afternoon. So I want to start with prayers and praying for the family. And I know a lot of times people say, "Oh, you always say about praying." Well, if there wasn't evil in this world, we wouldn't have to pray as much. And when I talk about this story today, you're going to hear about evil. You're going to hear a complex investigation, and you're going to hear about an investigation that's still ongoing. So unfortunately, there's a lot of things we won't be able to answer. But I can tell you, it is a difficult case, and this will be an ongoing case. And there's a lot of things that we still have to run down, and a lot of things that we still have to solve. So, I'll talk about Phillip Zilliot, who's 25 years of age, Rain Mancini, 26 years of age, and their 2 children, Phillip Zilliot, the third, who's 5 years old, and Karma Zilliot, who's 6 years old. And for them and their families, we ask for tons of prayers, because this is an extremely difficult time for all of them. The preliminary investigation, as I said, it's a complex, and this is still a missing persons case. Until the final resolution, until the ME comes back, it's still a missing persons case. But we were able to find human remains at the crime scene, and we believe it may be this family. But at the same time, as I can't give it definitive until everything is, the ME gives us that final confirmation that it is. I want to thank the members of the Sheriff's Office. With me, the numerous members, but I want to point out, which we'll be able to speak, is Sergeant Rosso from Major Crimes, Deanna Higgins, apologize, Dina. She's the lead instructor for human remain dogs, and Indy was out there with her, and so they were critical in this investigation. And Austin Polonitsa, he does the anthropology and forensics piece for us, and they get called out, those 2 get called out a lot to go to different organizations, and this is a case that we need them right here in our own neighborhood to help solve this case. We're working with the state attorney's office right now. Because of that partnership with the state attorney's office, we're able to charge Rory Atwood with first-degree homicide on John Doe. And it's on John Doe because we do not know exactly the human remains that we found. But because of the statements he made, because of the information we've gathered, he's being charged with first-degree homicide. I want to thank the information that has come in. And I'm going to get into it. It's pretty complex how this information came in. And the great job of our detectives and our deputies, Deputy Callahan, their team out there were nonstop with whatever nuggets we got. They kept going with it. The other part too is, we still need the public's assistance. Call us. Don't call a friend who calls a friend who calls a friend. And that's what I'm going to talk about. That's what hinders the investigation. What helps us is if you call us directly to get that information. So this started on Wednesday evening at approximately 11:30 p.m. Rain Mancini, her friend picked her up at Rain's mother's house, drove her to Rory's house, which is on Nottingham Trail in Hudson. This was the last time that Rain saw her mother and the mother saw her. which was unusual, as we'll find out later on in the investigation. Rain's friend, Rain, Phillip, and Rory were all at the house together with Rain and Phillip's two children, who I mentioned, and Rory's daughter, who was a juvenile as well, were all at the house while the adults were drinking. Phillip and her son, Zilliot, and this is around midnight on Thursday, and her son, Phillip's mother, and her son, Phillip, spoke on the phone, and that was the last time they spoke on the phone. Per Rain's friend, Rain, Phillip, and Rory were all drinking alcohol, and they started arguing. Before leaving, Rain's friend hears someone say, "This is the last time this happened. You pulled a gun on us," referring to Rory. We do not have any police reports about that. A friend of Rory, this is around 2 o'clock in the morning, got a call from Rory, who was really upset and said he shot somebody and was frantic. That friend, then calls another friend, who calls another friend, and we think possibly a fourth friend. None of the information came to us for another 12 hours. The sheriff's office didn't get any of that information, and it would have been very helpful for the investigation had we received it. Rory, this is about 3 a.m. in the morning. Rory Atwood then calls his baby's mother and says, "Hey, I want to drop off our daughter." And that doesn't happen until about 5:45 in the morning. He drops her off. This is about Thursday at approximately 2 in the afternoon. This is the first time that we, the Pasco Sheriff's Office, get information. We received third and possibly fourth party information that the suspect may have killed somebody. That's what I go back to. It was a person after a person after a person. This is when we begin our investigation efforts, trying to track back the real source of the information. We went around the property. The suspect gave us permission to walk around. Unfortunately, we did not find anything that was suspicious at the time. On Friday, we were able to make contact with Rain and Phillip's family. So it wasn't until yesterday afternoon that we were able to make contact with the family, and they said they had not heard from them. It was unusual in the fact that they hadn't heard from them, and it wasn't unusual in the fact that this family is a little transient, and they go from place to place. So around 4:30 in the afternoon, our deputies observe Rory Atwood. We see him out there. He gives us permission to go back on their property, which we start doing a more extensive search. We had the human remain dogs, bloodhounds, aviation, deputies. Because of the search, we were able to find human remains. This, along with several admissions, is what led to Rory Atwood being charged with first-degree homicide. As I go back to it, it's an ongoing investigation. Apologize.
Hot in there.
Our job is to work with the medical examiner right now to help identify the remains. The missing person case will remain open until everyone is identified. We are still tracking down leads, and we will provide updates when they're significant at the time. I go back to this one thing. We need the public's assistance. We do not know who those human remains are at this time. It's an active investigation. We're going to figure it out. But at the same time is talking to our detectives, the missing person case is not over. That missing person case will not be over until we know where those 4 individuals are. And I go back to it, those 2 poor little children. It's heartbreaking. We believe that they may be on the property deceased, but we do not know that definitively. And we will do everything we can to track them down. We pray to God they're alive somewhere, but at the same time, as for that family, we need to find closure and we need to find justice. So with that being said, anything I can answer?
So there's you found one body?
So as of right now, I can tell you we found human remains. We can't identify how many bodies were found out there right now. We're still trying to work with the ME and get some forensics to figure out. Yeah.
What state were they in when you found them?
As part of the investigation, I can't go into it, but I can just tell you they were human remains.
I see.
Yeah.
And then can you explain, sorry, there's a lot of names, and I know some of them have the same name. So can you explain who reported them missing and when?
So the first call came in that he may have shot somebody. That was Thursday. Friday wasn't really until we got hold of the family. It was Friday when we were able to talk to the family, and they said, "Hey, look, we don't know. We haven't heard from them." At that point, we were just going, "Okay." We were ramping it up since Thursday, late afternoon. But really, when the family said we haven't heard from them, then we said, "Okay, these pieces aren't falling together." The hard part was as confusing it is for us. our detectives, and I go back to Deputy Callahan, his name keeps coming up for us because he was the one that was like, I'm going to keep figuring out, I'm going to keep finding out who did this.
So it sounds like it was unusual that you learned about the suspect before you actually learned about the people who were missing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. That was the whole thing, was that we found out that the suspect stated to his friends, I may have shot somebody, or I did, and then we're trying to backtrack as to who may have been.
Can you talk about any idea about what happened here, if you know why this happened, or?
There's supposedly an argument. They had lived together for a little bit. There was an argument before, as you've heard, that somebody said that she had heard. Rory said, they pulled a gun on me last time. So it has to do with them living situation. We don't know exactly what it was, but that's why we're still interviewing, investigating, and trying to find this all together.
And then can you say who owned the property where they were found?
I don't know exactly. I believe Rory was the one who was living in primary residency, but I don't know exactly who actually owns it.
Do you think there's more people out there who know more about what happened?
I believe there's definitely people who have information, because it sounded like people were calling people. It sounded like a train of but nobody called law enforcement. So that's the frustration on our side, is that we're asking anybody who got a phone call or knows something, please let us know.
Can you tell us anything more about this family and more about their background and all?
All I know is that, unfortunately, their living situations were never the best. They were transient, going from one place to another, and so they had stayed at Rory's for a while, and so something happened. Argument came out of this one, too. All right?
Are deputies still searching possibly more victims? I mean, you say you found human remains, but you don't know if you found everybody who's.
No, absolutely. We're working with FDLE, and we're sending a lot of equipment out there to go search.
They're out there now.
Oh, this is going to be off for a while. So, all right.
Can you talk about the search and kind of what's next? Go ahead.
Rosie, you want to get in that?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael Rosa, ROSA. I'm a sergeant at the Pasco Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit. Our search is going to continue with the property. We have a lot more investigative things to do, looking at the property, looking at the home itself, and there's approximately 10 acres there. So a lot of ground to cover. We have a lot of resources that we're going to use, a lot of agencies that are going to assist us as well, including the medical examiner's office. And we have a lot of investigations still due to identify who's there, how many people are there, that kind of type of things. And we believe that our suspect, Rory Atwood, may have spoken to more people about this incident. So if there's anybody out there that he spoke to, please contact the sheriff's office.
Will you guys be doing a lot of digging around the property? What kind of tools are you using?
So I'm not going to get into the detail of that, sir, but however, we have a lot of equipment, a lot of highly trained personnel to search this property.
We appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
All right, so that was just a few days ago, the press conference. We're playing it here. We started it yesterday before we ended our live stream. Michelle C., thank you for the support there. I saw your message. Really, really appreciate it. This is scary, folks. So I am at the scene. Let me pull the camera out and take you. I am actually at the scene here in Pasco County at where authorities are searching. Nottingham, property of Rory Atwood. And you heard it, folks. They might be out here for days. Pretty much, I haven't seen anything as being out here the multiple times that I came, like seeing like major things coming in and out. I've seen occasional sheriffs in vehicles, but it just got one. They're not letting anyone on the road. There is nobody else out here right now but me on a dirt road in rural Pasco County. It's very, very remote. This about a mile up that way will take you to, I believe the road is Hudson Avenue. Let me spin the camera around. One thing I also found very, very disturbing on this guy's Facebook page is I found like lots of weapons and knives and weapons that were on his Facebook account, and guns. Lots of guns laying around. In his bedroom. A lot of posts that he made. He seems unhinged, disheveled. It seems like this guy, I don't know, man. He's slicing snakes and skinning animals. It's scary that, days later they're still on the property, and the human remains aspect disturbs me. It just disturbs me How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's your thoughts? Scary, right?
Very scary.
Do you know the guy?
Do I know
No,
personally?
no. Do you live on the street?
Yeah, I live over here.
Oh, you live on the street. You ever see anything like this?
Not in the 2 years I've been here.
Yeah. They're saying a family of 4.
I know. Terrible.
Terrible. You never seen him or know anything about him?
I don't. I never have. I mean, I've had other people on the street tell me that they knew him.
What do they say?
And they knew nothing, just that, you know.
Does he live by himself? Do you know?
That I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know anything about that end of the street. to be
Only
honest.
up here.
Well, I only know a few people up here, so.
Yeah.
I know a few up there, but I don't really know anybody
Yeah.
down in that area.
Everybody on the feed wants to know what's going on here. You know, what's this about? Like, in a sense, like, are there more victims out there? Is this an isolated incident? Is there bodies?
I hope there's no others out there.
I know, right? Thank you. Pray for your community.
Just be safe. 'Cause they will come around that corner or up.
Oh,
quick.
really? Thank you, ma'am.
And there are quads. I don't know if they're around lately, but there's quads and stuff that.
Quads.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of big pickup trucks around here too. Big Jeeps and pickup trucks.
Oh yeah, there's. Don't forget, it's all farmland.
It's farmland.
Basically.
It's like real raw out here. I'm shocked that you get 5G internet service. You know, I got 5G out here. I'm shocked.
Yep, you do, but no, nothing from Comcast or anything like that. No.
Oh, really? No Comcast. You gotta get satellite cable.
I mean, no. Well, Spectrum, you guys have down here.
Interesting.
But yeah, no Wi-Fi, none of that usually. So I'm really surprised you guys are able to shoot from here and
I know.
get it back to the office. Kind of nice.
I know. Does this scare you a little bit?
Of course it does.
Yeah.
You know, but now that somebody's in custody, you know, just hoping it's the right one. That's all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Which I'm sure it is.
It's the right guy. Thank you.
You still have to worry.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Be safe.
You too. So that's a neighbor. She lives before the road here. I was trying to think of questions to ask her. But, you know, she said she lived behind me, in the woods behind me. So this is quite a distance. I mean, it's a quarter mile, but you would think every neighbor knows everyone on the block. But sometimes you don't know your own neighbors, right? A lot of times we cover these cases and neighbors are in shock. And they can't believe what happened with suspects, right? She's actually walking. See, it's dirt road down here. It's got big power lines, but it's all dirt road out here. I'm telling you, this property has kind of like a helter-skelter type vibe here. This, I'll be honest, you know, covering Rex Heuerman and Rex Heuerman's brother down there in Chester, South Carolina, it has that same type of vibe to me. Tiffany Philpott, thank you for your support. Thank you, everyone, for the support. As we understand what's going on here, let me get my other phone here and show you the other pictures that I have of this guy. Share with you. Let me see if I can go over here and we come out pretty clear. Yes, we do. So there's lots of pictures out there of this guy on social media, and I'm just gonna kind of let me see if I can. Tell me if this comes in. Well, it's kind of glazed. Here's one. Most of them are fainted. He has one of these dingy phones. Here's another one of him. I don't know if you can see that. We'll do a subsequent stream and I'll show you the other pictures I have of this guy. I don't know how long his Facebook will be up. Here he is exposing himself, giving himself it's just weird. You know, it's been edited out, but he's exposing himself on a Oh, there's cows. Look at the cows. Let's go see the cows. There's cows here, folks. This is cow land. Cow land in Florida. This is like Land O'Lakes Butter area. I think Land O'Lakes Butter. So he lives right by a cow farm. See the cows? Ooh. Cows are out and about. Lots of cows out here. But Pasco County sheriffs, they're gonna solve this. This is a good group of people. They have the best investigators, and they usually solve these things very quickly. As you heard, the sheriff, multiple witnesses have talked about, him claiming he's done something. So all that's going to be used against him. This will be most likely a death penalty case in the state of Florida, because we're talking about 2 children that lost their lives. So that's pretty scary itself. But as of today, there's really no newspaper articles. He's sitting in the one thing I found interesting, though, in his particular case is he's booked for homicide, he's booked for murder, but he's booked for the murder of a John Doe, not an actual victim. So I don't know how they were able to do that without determining whose body it is. So if anyone knows that, is that just a way you can hold someone and hold them before you officially, get him for what he actually did, or a victim? Because there's no name to the victim. He's held on murder or homicide of a John Doe. So if anyone knows anything about the law, please explain that. Are they just doing that just to build a case on him? Possibly, folks. Possibly. All right. So another thing that's interesting is I believe the way I looked at the property was owned by his mom. Again, the 4 victims in this particular case: Rain Mancini, 26. She's 5'7", 240 pounds, auburn hair and brown eyes. Phillip Zilliot II, who's 25 years old, 5'10", around 238 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. And then we have 2 children. Karma Zilliot, 6. She is 3'6", 65 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. And then we have Phillip Zilliot III, 5 years old. He's around 4 feet, 65 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. They're all still missing. This guy has battery charges in 219, failure to appear warrants from back then. He has a careless driving charge from 2023. In July of last year, he has a careless driving. And in 216, according to records, the suspect has been arrested for fleeing and eluding police during a traffic stop. He wouldn't pull over, or maybe he got pulled over and he took off. So that's kind of scary. I mean, that stuff would be used against him, right? Why did he do it? How did he do it? It's terrifying. If you go to Google right now, I'll put in Rory Atwood. No new news articles out on him. Everything from Fox News is talking about it. Law and Crime is talking about it. Tampa Bay Times is talking about it. CNN is talking about it. ABC Action News is talking about it. Bay News 9 is talking about it. WFLA is talking about it. Fox 13 is talking about it. MSN is talking about it. Yahoo, AOL. So, yeah, this is national news, but there's nothing new. LR Investigates the only one out here at this time. I wanted to see if I could get to his house. They have a sign there that says no trespassing and no dumping. How ironic, right? No dumping. Horrible. 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 And again, since we've done this live stream, we have not seen anyone come or go out of the property. Now they have all the vehicles up there parked on the right, but his property is to the left. To the left, and it goes in 10 acres. So 10 acres is a lot of acres, man, you know. I don't want to be graphic, folks. I don't want to be graphic on JLR Investigates, but it's quite possible, based off that axe photo that we showed, knives he's flaunting knives on Facebook posts. It's quite possible, folks, that he cut people up. And I don't want to say that to be graphic, and I apologize, but it is quite possible that when the sheriff talks about human remains, we're talking about him, you know, discarding the people in multiple spots throughout his property. It is quite possible. And if they found a little human remains, whose human remains? Is there more human remains? And that's what they're looking for. Because a lot of times we hear bodies have been recovered. Now, how will they be able to identify the human remains? Well, DNA, right? Hopefully I'll be back later on today. Okay, so we do have a car coming down the road now. We'll see what this is about. Probably a sheriff deputy. There is neighbors that live back there too, so the authorities are letting, I was just told here, the authorities do let the neighbors go back and forth to the house. You know, they can't stop the neighbors that live there from going back and forth, but anyone else is prohibited from going back there while they search up the property. Yeah, I'm in a pretty good shady spot right now. I think there's over a dozen here. Sheriff. I thought for a second that might have been FDLE. It's unclear if FDLE is here, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. This guy too, Rory Atwood, is in his mid-20s. He's in his mid-20s. JLR live at Pasco County. But other than that, no new information. Now, I will say, folks, I'll try my best to get there back down the road to see what's up if they clear it. I am headed out on a flight tomorrow. I'm going back to, me and Magnolia are going back to California and Arizona. We're going to the border starting tomorrow, so we'll be at the border for at least a week, giving you coverage of the border, of what's going on there. So any subsequent updates or anything like that I can share while I'm out in the field down on the border. It's going to be hot out there on the border, folks. It's hot out here. It's been approaching over 90 every day here. Where I'm going on the border, it's going to be over 100. It's going to be 100 to 110 in some spots. So it's going to be brutal, but there's stories there that need to be addressed and need to be shared that's not getting coverage. We know some homeowners that live on the border in Acumba, and Hundreds and hundreds of people from around the world are going through their property every day. Happened yesterday, day before, and it's getting worse. Yeah, it must be a lot of property here for them to search. All right, we got a large truck coming, so we'll see what this truck is that's coming on the road. I don't know, man. These are the type of places. I saw that neighbor walking, but at nighttime, I don't know if I'd be walking around here even at night on these dirt roads. And I've always said to myself, when I do travels and stuff like that, I mean, if I ever had a flat tire or my car broke down and I'm on these rural back roads, I would be really hesitant on knocking on someone's door. I'm sure there's good people, and most people are good out there. I don't want to say it as if everyone's bad, but I'd be very scared to knock on anyone's door asking for help when you're out here in the middle of nowhere. There could be, yeah, spare tire, or just wait to the daytime. I don't even know if I would knock on anyone's door in the daytime either. Plus, armed people have weapons. People are armed. You know, going onto someone's property in rural, you might be asking for some trouble. Might be shoot, ask questions later. Shoot first. Now, because we've covered cases in like Alabama where we're going rural, and I've always said to myself, you know, when I'm on these back roads, what if, folks, your car breaks down and you have no choice but to start, and there's no cell phone service and you have to knock on somebody's door? Would you do it? Or they're letting a roofing person in. That said Farrell Roofing. It said Farrell Roofing. So what's going on here? All right, so this roofer here didn't have to stop and ask for permission to go through, but now he's turning to the left. Okay, so this roofer guy has nothing to do with it. Probably familiar, but something's going on down all the way down at the end with some sort of crane or something. Or I see some vehicle moving around down there. I wish I could get closer. Wish I could get closer. Rural Pasco County, folks. JLR investigates. This will most likely be a capital murder case. 2 children, folks, 5 and 6. A lot of times they do secure these areas and prohibit people from getting close. You know, this is as close as you can get in these scenarios. People are asking in the chat, they're just coming in. We're talking about a family of 4 that are missing and most likely murdered. Of that family of 4, 2 of them are children, aged 6 and 5. Human remains have been found on a property belonging, well, I don't know if he owns the property of a Rory Atwood, where the family of 4 were visiting his property. It seems like Wednesday night. Possibly staying with him, because the family of 4 was kind of transient, homeless, and we're just from place to place, and we're staying with this guy. Some people probably do have questions. Why would they want to stay with this guy? I don't know, but doesn't justify, you know, their financial or their situation. Maybe they just wanted to avoid her and get their kids at least inside some home, get the kids off the street. But yeah, they most likely all 4 were murdered. At this point, if the children were alive, I think we would have known by now. That's why we are, I mean, it's safe to assume the kids are deceased. Drugs and alcohol. I keep your comments coming in. If you know anything about this case or you're from the area and you have something to share, please share. But after today, I won't be around for this case, but we'll keep tabs on it. Some people are asking if there's any lakes or ponds on this property. The way the map I've seen, I don't believe so, but there is smaller ponds close to his property that I've seen, but I don't know how, like, I didn't actually look on the land glide map to determine what his actual property line is, but they said they're searching the whole property, which is 10 acres. Now, you know, if this guy has the tendency to do this, has this guy done this before? And why the children? You know, one of the theories I got, argument with the parents, you know, they're drinking and doing drugs, children are witnesses, and he took out the witnesses, the children, which is horrible, right? Human remains, were they shot? Were they strangled? Were they cut up? Human remains. The fact that they can't identify the human remains, and as if today they gave that press conference days ago that I shared, disturbs me. To make me think that this guy took extreme measures to get rid of the human remains and possibly scatter them all over his property. One thing that's interesting too is, you know, if they found human remains, you would think maybe this guy would have put all 4 bodies at one location, just in a hole or something, or but they're still here and they haven't identified the human remains yet. Makes me think that they're separate spots, and or the human remains were so bad that you can't identify. Were they burnt? Were they killed and burnt? Was there a fire here? Wonder if he had human equipment. You know, this case here on the rural farm, I covered a case in Bucks County years ago. The 4 victim boys that were killed by Cosmo Denaro. I don't know if you remember that case. Pretty bad. You know, getting rid of 4 kids all over a property. Pretty bad. Are they in a well? Are they in a pipe? Are they in a drainage? Are they in the sewer? There is some outhouses, and it looks like sheds and barns on his property, according to maps. Also, I was told that Pasco County. And why? Okay, so we have another car coming out now. This looks like a van coming. We'll see what this is. Might be a crime scene van. Forensics. We'll see. Something's coming. Forensics. It's a forensic van. All right, forensics has left. The forensic van. How many forensic vans are here? There is some giant trailer there. I think it's their mobile forensic command center. There's a, it looks like a big, kind of like an RV in the distance. What's going on here, people? Showing you what's going on outside a crime scene in real time. Also, folks, I'll show you again. This is the type of terrain we're dealing with here when we're searching someone's property. We're dealing with, here comes a car. But what we're dealing with, this is some sort of news. The news is here. Finally got some news here. Channel 8 News. But this is the type of land we're dealing with, folks, when they're searching his properties. This is the Florida terrain. Look at this. So this could be difficult for authorities, but I'm sure they're looking for spots that were tampered with or dug up. But it's just thick brush. It's thick brush out here. Overgrown land, but it's all over. It's all over. And his property seems like they have that too. We got looks like WFLA is here. WFLA is here. We got one media outlet here besides JLR Investigates. Trish Moore, welcome to media. Welcome to media, everyone. Consider joining as a member. Your membership helps us do boots on the ground coverage in real time. True crime. This is a true crime breaking news channel. We cover crime scenes, breaking news when it comes to mass shootings, big events, mysteries, murders, missing people. That's what we do on JLR Investigates. Try to give you the accurate information in real time. We love speculation. We love all theories. Please be respectful of other people's opinions. But other than that, share your theories. Share your thoughts. I will say, before I went on the live stream, I had a wonderful conversation with the deputy in this vehicle in front of me. Very, very nice guy. And I will say that he does watch JLR Investigates. And we were having conversations about the Moscow, Idaho 4 case before I went on the live stream. So it was really good. This sheriff here is following the Moscow, Idaho 4 case. Deputy. Shrimp, welcome to media. Yeah, Magnolia shared the tweet, the pic of the tweet with him with an axe. So if you want to click on that tweet pic, and you can see clearly him with a picture of an axe, go look. That is a photograph, and a very disturbing photograph. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if that axe you see in the pic Could be the murder weapon, could be a knife, could be an axe, could be some power tools, could be a combination of guns and weapons like that, you know, knives. And we appreciate everyone that joins as a member on JLR Investigates. This crime scene could be released at any time. As of right now, I do not see them packing up. So we're on at least 3 days now, and them at this place here. At least 3 days now. That's News 8. News 8 is doing their, maybe he was a serial killer. I mean, when he's formally charged with victims, we're talking about 4 murders here. Maybe there's more. Or maybe it's just the 4. Maybe just the 4. Getting that B-roll film. I like the flashing lights. I want to get an understanding of this, and then what we'll do at this point also too is future court hearings. Since it's pretty close to me, we'll attend this court hearing and see what happens here. This is a capital case. Dealing with 2 children. If they did what they did to Stearns, they're going to do what they did to this guy. They're going to do the same thing. I expect the state attorney's office to seek capital punishment against Rory Atwood for sure. What did the suspect do for a living? Great question. Okay, so he has a Facebook page. Let me go to his old Facebook page from a few years ago. He does identify a business, so let me click on it a second. Give me 1 second. I have his Facebook account, so I'm going to click on it. So according, let me go back. Let me go here. Or somewhere else. I can't get to it here. One second. Okay. This is scary, folks, because he calls himself a crematorium. Crematorium. He calls himself a crematorium. This is him right here. This is his Facebook page right here. And on his Facebook page, he calls himself Rory John. On his Facebook page, he calls himself Rory John. And on there it says lube technician at Ford of Port Richey. That's where he identifies where he worked. A lube technician. A lube technician. Scary.
All the way to there, that's it.
This is that WFLA reporter right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I assume you got aerials of this.
I didn't see any outback on that. I get it.
All right, we got possibly other law enforcement vehicle. Yep, we got some sheriff here. Let's see who it is. Oh, look at this, medical examiner. We have the medical examiner here, folks. Oh man, medical examiner has arrived. What does that mean, folks? What's your thoughts? Medical examiner on the scene. They brought the medical examiner. Well, that was interesting. I saw it a different color. I'm like, oh, this is someone different coming. Different color vehicle. All right, so we have the medical examiner here. Have they found more body parts to bring the medical examiner back here? Let me know your comments. JLR investigates. Looks like the medical examiner's here. What does that mean? What have they found? Maybe transport the remains, identify the remains. Somebody mind sharing in the chat the role of a medical examiner? If someone doesn't mind sharing the role of a medical examiner, we'd really appreciate that on JLR Investigates. To identify bodies. Scary. The medical examiner's job is to identify the bodies. More bodies found, maybe? A continuation of what they found before. You would have thought the medical examiner would already be here to retrieve bodies and take them back to the morgue. So we'll see how long the medical examiner, I'll stick around for a little bit. We'll see how long. Yeah, news people are packing up. See, I told you, this is how, this is kind of how media works, mainstream media. They do their B-rolls, they do their just a couple minute shots, and then they leave. And I think that's kind of, you know, doing a disservice to their viewers. The fact that we have a quadruple homicide here with a couple children involved, and the media comes for 5 minutes and takes their video. Yeah, and it's good. They'll put their report out. But they should have at least have a reporter, every journalist, every media outlet in the Tampa Bay area should have at least one reporter on the ground for a significant amount of time to, you know, just see what's happening. That's why I'm a proponent of live streaming, and I believe that YouTube live streamers and citizen journalists and just live streamers is the future. Is the somebody asked the question, Devil Doll, nice to see you. Is a medical examiner the same as a coroner in America? Can someone answer that question? I don't know that answer, Devil Doll. Okay, we got some vehicles coming out, or at least one vehicle coming out. Kate D. Hi, JLR. Thank you for your coverage. Nice to see you, Kate D. Thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to see all of you. All right, that guy had some a big giant like hat to keep shade. Michelle says medical examiner exam, the investigation, examination of persons dying of sudden, unexpected, or violent death, and with determining the cause and manner of the death. Thank you, Michelle. So we do have a medical examiner at the scene now with this situation. Came in a few minutes ago, so time is 11. Came in about 11:30. We'll just say 11:30 Eastern. Medical examiner arrived. We got another law enforcement vehicle arriving. We'll see what this is right here. This is an SUV arriving. Here are the cows. Four-way and no stop signs. Great point. Great point, folks. Look at this. Great point. We have a four-way because this is technically, this is not a driveway. This is a road. This is Nottingham Trail and Robin Hood Road. And at this intersection, there is no stop sign. So who stops? Great point. Interesting. That's, imagine two cars coming at the same time. It's ripe for an accident. There is no stop signs here. Who stops? Who has to yield for who? Who has the right of way? I like that. Thanks for noticing that. Good observation. Well, the roads are probably not really used because this road actually, this one goes to a dead end. Straight ahead goes to a dead end, only one way in, which is behind me. And I'll take you to Hudson Avenue. Yield to the right. Yeah, I'm shocked at this guy. Like, I mean, he said he worked lube. I'm shocked that he was able to have all this property. Where did he get the property? Where did he get the 10 acres? Because I didn't look at property records to see who actually owns the property. But it seems like he's the only one on the property currently. I don't think anyone else lived there besides the family of four temporarily that got murdered, chopped up, killed. So how was he able to get all this land? Because 10 acres of land out here might be a $500,000. I think in this area, acres are like 25 to 30,000 an acre, about, plus the home itself. Now, I don't know the condition of the home. Could be a shack or shanty. Home could look like the Wells home. I always said Wells home, their property. I like the Wells property, how it's on top of that hill there. But we seen what the house looks like on the top of the Wells property. This could be like a Wells type home. Inherited. Now, I don't think it's a trailer. I really don't think it's a trailer. I looked on the but somebody can maybe put in the address and see for itself. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go put the address in. It's like 14825 Nottingham. I'm gonna go to Redfin. Now it's a house. It's a house, 14825, and it's weird because on its estimated value is 469,322. It doesn't say how many beds, but it says it's 2 baths, and it says it's 2,496 square feet, according to Redfin. It was built in 2000, 10 acres. So the property value is about $500,000. And really, to be honest, we don't know the condition of the home. It's safe to say the most value of it is the property, not the home. That's according to Redfin. And I see multiple buildings. I see a big building. And then in the front, I see, oh, we got another forensics here. More forensics are here. Look at this. Forensics. Okay, so we got the medical examiner here, more forensics. What's going on here? Children's ages are 6 and 5. They might have found more stuff. I mean, I think that's the second forensics or third forensics I've seen since I've been here. Go in to at least 2, plus a medical examiner. We also seen one go out. That might have been the same one that went out that came back in too. Fair point. So CBC made a comment. I'm a stenographer in court. I see TV media. By the time I get home at 6 p.m., I'm shocked how mixed up the true story is. Just clips. CBC works in the type of field and sees how media works. Sees that, media takes these clips and then whatever, the network, has it maybe a possible agenda. The network twists up the story. Thank you, CBC, for that comment. Kayla Newell, 5 bedroom, 2 bath, 269,392. Kayla said 5 bedrooms, folks. 5 bedrooms. Probably why the family of 4 was living there, right? He probably said to him, here's an opportunity. Come stay with me. We have a 5-bedroom, got a 5-bedroom home. I keep monitoring the streets. It looks like another vehicle is coming down, but it actually turned off. How long were they missing? I believe they were missing since Wednesday night. Yeah, he claims crematory. Well, how many bodies did he dispose of really in his past? Great point. He claims crematory. What's it called? A crematorium? That's what he identified as, a crematorium. Cremate, folks. Cremate. That's probably part of this human remains aspect. We're dealing with a man that says he worked in cremation. House of Horrors. Another House of Horrors. For sure. Mainstream media lies, Ocean's daughter says. Mainstream media lies. Always have. Thank you for your support and your comment. Take the 2,000 degrees to cremate. Does he have a cremate? Like, does he have an oven? Does he have an oven on the property? Or did he make his own makeshift oven? I'm not vibing the human remains aspect. When the sheriff says that, it disturbs me to the core. It really disturbs me because you would think they would have an understanding by now. And maybe they do have an understanding. But the fact is, days later, they're still here. Folks, we know most of the time this gets wrapped up in the same day. And they release the property the next day. But they are here third day in a row. And the medical examiner just arrived. Forensics keeps coming in and out. Day 3. What in the world is going on here in Pasco County? Hudson, Florida. Nottingham Trail. At the home of Rory Atwood. Rory Atwood. R-O-R-Y. Almost called him Corey. Drones. We don't really get into drones on JLR Investigates. You know, drones is a very, you know, in that situation, I guess you could put a drone up in a public street. We haven't really tested the drones in that aspect. There's a lot of laws regarding that in different states, and it's very convoluted. What is allowed and what is not allowed. You know, you fly a drone in front of on top of somebody's house, you could be charged in certain situations. So we kind of just, it's a gray area, and it's still in its, every state has rules regarding that. So we kind of just stay away from the drones. That's why we don't use drones. Now, this is not related, I don't think, here. This is called Rolando HVAC. I think it came out of one of the homes beforehand. So I don't think it has anything to do with the situation. We might have another Rex Heuermann, folks. Maybe. Rex Heuermann's a different situation, but what I'm saying is we might have a situation like an Ed Gein. Somebody said Ed Gein, right? That guy. Am I saying his last name? Gein? Ed Gein? I'm trying to get out of the sun so we don't get our Gein, Ed Gein, Gein. Was that the gentleman from Wisconsin, Ed Gein? Who was the Wisconsin guy? Yeah, La Crosse, Wisconsin. Yes. Thank you. Gein. I said Gein. Like Albert Einstein. Gein. Gein. Dahmer. People said Dahmer. It said Gein is La Crosse, Wisconsin. 1906. He was born. Also known as the Butcher of Plainfield. Actually, believe it or not, this kind of has... I covered a case a little bit north of here in Spring Hill, Florida, and there was another situation called William Mansfield. I don't know if you remember the Mansfield case. William Mansfield out of Spring Hill, Florida, and they found bodies, victims' bodies at his home. Remember that case? If anyone remembers that case, we actually did some streams there.
Hey, catch that guy?
I don't know. Are you a neighbor?
No, I just crossed the street.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Do you know him?
What?
Do you know him?
No, I don't know who he was.
Yeah.
I don't even remember seeing her or the kids.
Never saw the kids or anything. Where do you live? Right up the road?
I live on the other side.
Gotcha. When did you see law enforcement come in?
I never saw him
You never saw them?
until I saw the news.
Till you saw the news. So you didn't even know what was going on until you saw the news. And you live right here. It's normally peaceful around here.
Yeah, it's quiet.
Everybody cool with everybody? Like,
Yeah.
wow. Shocker. For sure.
I used to know a guy that lived right over here.
Yeah. That goes back to a dead end?
I don't know. I haven't been down there.
Never been down there. Yeah, it seems like the map, this is the only way in and out right here. I just wanted to ask because maybe somebody knows. What goes that way to the right?
To the right, which way?
Right here. This right here. There's this.
The county's building something back there.
Oh, the county's building something back there?
That's what I heard.
Interesting.
Just hearing, that neighborhood watch stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, well, have a good day.
Take care. God bless you. Be safe. All right, so that neighbor that lives in the development here says he didn't even know what was going on. He came by in a pickup truck. I always like talking to neighbors, and neighbors come out and always like to see what's going on in their town. They're probably in shock, and they're like, oh my God, what's going on? All neighbors are probably like a little bit maybe in fear, a little bit maybe, or like I would be. Yeah, a lot of people are remembering the Mansfield case. What's crazy about the Mansfield case is I actually talked to some of his neighbors across the street. And the neighbors across the street from his house, their home wasn't ever there. And believe it or not, Mansfield's property was all where the neighbors are across the street. And there was fear because Mansfield case popped up recently that there was more bodies buried around there. And that's not too far from here. The Mansfield case, maybe like 20 miles to the north. If you could think of other cases and scenarios here, shoot them up in the comments. Any other cases that this could remind you of, or where, a creepy person dumps bodies on their own property, Is there other examples out there? Dahmer apartment. They actually tore that entire apartment complex of Jeffrey Dahmer down. Daybell, there you go. Daybell. Thank you, Sally, for the comment. Daybell, Chad Daybell. Think about this. 2 children on his own body, and we've heard what Daybell and Lori was involved with. The conditions of those children was horrifying. I was in court when Lori Valadaybell, when the detectives were testifying, the condition of the children was just, it was really bad. Chad Daybell, his own property. And how does these people think that they can just do something to someone when this family was last seen on his property, and then dispose of these people on the property they were last at? I mean, that wasn't too smart, was it? I mean, you don't think that authorities would search his own property? Of course. Absolutely, they would search his own property. Absolutely. I covered a case about a year or 2 ago, a little bit south of here, Pasco, Pinellas County, off of 54. It was Colin Knapp and Kathleen Moore, and he basically lured his girlfriend from Pinellas County up to his house, and then he killed his girlfriend. This was a biracial couple. He killed his girlfriend and then disposed her in back of his house in the swamp, because directly back of his house was a swamp, and put her back there. And then he worked at a steakhouse. He worked at Seltzer Stam's or Sam Seltzer Steakhouse, that steakhouse. that's around in this area. They got multiple places. I don't know the name offhand. Seltzer, Sam, Sam, something like that. Something Seltzer. He worked as a chef, and he discarded things in the dumpster by his job. People say John Wayne Gacy. Just these are the worst of the worst in society, folks. What type of defense does this guy have? I mean, are we talking about? Are we going to hear a mental health defense here? I gotta go, guys. I gotta go.